So I saw a fake Sagan slash smooth terrorists video about how the 99% protests are actually getting some interesting media coverage, especially in the mainstream media nowadays. And he remarked on how there actually is some coverage in the mainstream media about how brutal the police are actually being to the protesters. Now usually you can find this kind of thing on alternative media, but now you can see it on MSNBC. And it's actually pretty hard-hitting, pretty scathing stuff. And he was saying about how this is inconsistent with the mainstream media's usual portrayal of protesters, their usual angle of demonizing them. And he was wondering, what's the mainstream media's angle now with this? What exactly are they going for here? And his confusion reminded me a lot of the things that Chomsky used to say about the mainstream media and how they marginalize non-mainstream opinions. And while I agree that there are things about the mainstream media that do marginalize non-mainstream opinions, I don't think they're all there by design. For example, Chomsky used to say that on a mainstream news show, if you had any kind of non-mainstream left-wing or right-wing opinion, you would sound crazy because you would have to say it very concisely between two commercial breaks. And of course, if you wanted to say something that wasn't just what everybody else was saying, then you would have to explain yourself. You would have to give evidence. And if you were stuck having to make a point between two commercials, then anything you would say would inevitably end up sounding crazy. And while I agree that this happens and it does have this marginalizing effect, I don't believe that the people who produce these news shows came up with this format specifically with the goal of marginalizing non-mainstream opinions in mind. Their thinking is just not that sophisticated. Really, corporations are myopic and dumb. Wall Street is myopic and dumb. It was the people on Wall Street that bought billions of dollars of mortgage derivatives that weren't worth shit, and they didn't even bother to even consider that they might be worth less than what they were hyped to be. At the end of the day, these business guys, they just follow the money. If stuff like showing how cops actually treat protesters and showing reality for once gets ratings, if people watch that, and advertisers see that that show gets ratings, they're gonna wanna plug their products on that show. There is no plot, there is no scheme to any of this, I don't think. They just happen to realize that they can grab attention by showing reality this time around. In the end, these guys will sell you the rope you use to hang them.